Please do not eat or drink on the railway premises. Thank you for your cooperation.
Hello! So the last time we left off this series, we skipped the other end of the DTL for reasons that I've already explained in the bonus North episode. But I did say I was going to do it as a bonus episode, so as promised, we are going to go to the other end of the blue line now to explore the beautiful station that is Expo.
Expo Terminal. Voila! This train terminates at this station.
So right off the bat, as we get off here at the DTL platform, you notice that this station, or this platform in particular, operates kind of like Marina South Pier, where the train will not actually park here because it will go to a turnback track further down and then it will come back here, you see? But as we all know, this will not be the end of the DTL for much longer, as it will be extended to Sungai Bedok later this year. With this current train movement system, you will very likely still board Bukit Panjang bound trains at platform C after the extension, so nothing is going to change in that regard. But if you want to admire the true beauty of this station, you have to head upstairs. Walking along this corridor brings me back MRT speed run memories where I was like dashing right across the opposite direction. But this time around I'm just gonna stroll leisurely upstairs. So here we are on the original EWL platforms of Expo. I remember when I first visited this station more than 20 years ago when it first opened, I was like wowed by the amazing architecture. Even more than 20 years later, it is still so beautiful. Whilst we're here at the original EWL part of the station, have you noticed that on this side of the station there's grills, but when you look at this side, there's basically like a small garden area. How many MRT stations do you think have this kind of features? The beauty of this station will come as no surprise to you when you learn that the EWL station was designed by Foster & Partners, the firm of renowned British architect Norman Foster, something I learned later in life. So engrossed I was about the station's beauty that I forgot the practical reason most people will come to this station, that is to visit the Singapore Expo for various kinds of exhibitions, conferences and events. But there's also the somewhat inconspicuous Changi City Point shopping mall right across the road. This is something that I only just realized when I was exploring this station. You see there's the giant word Expo down there, and you may notice there is an A somewhere around here. This actually corresponds to the exit A actually. But if you were to look at the other side, there's a letter C down here. So can you guess what this corresponds to? Yes, obviously, yes, it's exit C. So, I actually have a recent story to share about Expo Station. So a while back I was asked by LTA to be part of a video series on Asia 1 called Through the Years. And the episode that I was going to be featured on will be about public transport. So LTA asked me, for the filming, which station would you like to film at, or what is your favourite MRT station to film at? And up until that point, I never really given much thought about what is my favourite MRT station. I mean, if you were to ask me what is the most interesting station to me, it would be Gul Circle, which is why I made that whole Lost Race episode about the abandoned platforms. But in terms of like actual favourite, I never really had one. So then I remembered the childhood memories when I visited Expo Station when it first opened. And I remember the architecture really wowed me. And then one stop down, Changi Airport, I also remember really loving that station. But ultimately I had to pick one, and because of the unique architecture of Expo that is unlike any other MRT station, that's why I decided to tell them that yes, I like to film at Expo Station, particularly the EWL platforms. So if you want to say for the record which is my favourite MRT station, I guess Expo will be the one. But Changi Airport one stop down, that will be a close second. As you exit the station on the DTL side, look above the platforms for these inscriptions of various names of metro systems around the world. If you are a tourist here, see if you can spot one from your hometown. Also, be sure not to miss this artwork on the wall by Yeo Chee Kiong called A Banquet, with a bubbly speech bubble and chairs that you can't sit on. In case you haven't figured out by now, I really like Expo Station. If you had to choose only one station to visit from this series, make it this one. I guess the next thing to do would be to cover Bayshore Station, and I have to do that before TEL 5 opens, so see you then.